welcome you to the World's Longest Man Podcast, indeed. We're back to it. All right. Guests in the house, big guests in the house, big friends of the show, long-time friends of the show. Ante Up, the podcast. Ante Up Consulting.
Yes.
Is in here. What's the line?
What's the line
Podcast. You see what I did there? We got these guys back here. They've been on the episode before, but they weren't a consulting firm at that point. They were just some guys who knew a lot about the gambling world and, was trying to school y'all.
Now
the motherfuckers got some money in there, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's a real money team right here.
For sure.
So, it's only right we have them here because gambling is all the rage. Sports gambling, it's all the rage.
Legal now in the state of Maryland.
Make some noise for that.
Ooh. We did it. We did it, Joe.
We did it, Joe. It's all the rage now, and it went from something I think that people really didn't know about to like everyone is like, your mom is like, can I place a bet here? You know, I like this team, Super Bowl.
Yeah.
And your, I guess, limited time in this space, what can you guys tell us how it's been?
Sure thing. So,
also, shout out to you for keeping the mask.
Yeah. So I did some traveling this weekend. I'll keep it limited to that. I took a lot of precautions, but I still want to take more when I come back, and I'm waiting on a negative result. So we'll see about that. But in the meantime, So I think Keith and I. I'm the meticulous Marquis, is what they call me for sports gambling. So the meticulous Marquis, this is Keith. I don't know, Keith, do we got you?
You got a nickname?
I feel like we used to call him Papa Keith lately because he had the jit recently.
Okay.
Do that one. But I think we were just bouncing like ideas originally, like. You would see the Woj bombs, stuff like that, Adam Schefter's, like the breaking contracts, things like that. And I think we were kind of talking about getting in that lane, or but that's a tough lane to be in. Although I pretty much get all as soon as the information is broken, I get the alerts on my phone, and I'm usually right by my phone, so I know it pretty much when it comes. But I don't, it's a lot to keep track of. So. But the sports gambling, it's natural. Like we've been, doing it for some time now. I feel like I've been sports gambling for almost 10 years now. Shout out to Sound, man. I always tell the story that I bet the Spurs one time, and he told me to double down on game 4. I lost it all, so learned the lesson there. But yeah, so I just wanted to really. We've been doing it for some time now, and I really started to see that the market was about to open. It was about to get legalized everywhere. So I really kind of want to get ahead of that, and there are a lot of people that just still want to learn about sports gambling and get into it, and it's a fun profession. We love to do it every day. So.
I'm interested in you the market. What made you realize that all right, outside of going to Vegas and stuff like that, but oh wow, this shit is about to be what's next.
Mm-hmm. Well, the laws are changing. That's the biggest thing. I mean, anybody who's been keeping up, this didn't happen overnight. Per se, it's been a long struggle. Obviously, New Jersey was the next state after Las Vegas, who always had it to open up, and that was a big deal. I guess not a lot of people around here because we're not New Jersey and we're really even paying attention, but I mean, it's definitely getting more of a.
And Delaware followed right after.
Yeah. I mean, it's a lot of states that
Mississippi did.
Mississippi recently.
Yeah, a big catalyst to that was the daily fantasy sports, and that I guess this technology evolving, they found a little loophole in the laws.
Yes.
And you can go back and research all the
was doing that. I remember I was on DraftKings for a while.
That's what I'm more getting at. Where it wasn't an overnight thing. So like Pete said, it's something we were thinking about for a long time. And everything that's happening now is more of all of it that thought coming to fruition and stuff. And the sports gambling stuff is definitely not overnight. People obviously been on it, and just the fact that it's getting legalized widespread, that inherently just opens up the market. So we try and get in there.
And I work for a casino that will not be named because there's no free promo around here. But I worked there for about 4 years, and I remember just being in a meeting, and our COO at the time really wanted that to be legalized. And I just felt that it was something that I've been doing, like I said, for years at that point. And I was kind of if this is such an important person in the gambling world. at least for our property. And I was just like, oh, this is something I'm a little ahead of. Let me start kind of like ironing out some processes now and try to get ahead of everything.
You talked about daily fantasy and like sort of the evolution of this coming to fruition. How do you guys blend those worlds of like, do you still do stuff like make fantasy lineups and bet $10 wagers to like who has like how does that work in your world?
Yeah, for the daily fantasy, that's more so like I guess each day is just a whole nother day with So I don't do daily fantasy. I do like fantasy football like for the year, the season rather. I've been in fantasy basketball this year. I got sent the link. I'm like I got too much shit. I can't do it.
The daily fantasy is savage. You playing when you're doing that like you're playing against like bots a lot of the time.
Yeah.
People got like it's not new. People got, you know what I mean, super spreadsheets programs, like they crunch the numbers, get the best lineups. You got some people playing hundreds of lineups a night, you know what I mean? It's definitely gotten there. But but that's, I feel like, a very small subset of the market. What we're trying to attack with Ante Up is, I guess, a lot of the newer customers that are going to be getting more experience to the whole world in general with the changing of the laws and stuff.
So let's think about that.
So bringing the casual.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Like,
trying to educate them.
you would be surprised how many people, like it's the laws around here are changing. How many people are like in line in Capital One who don't even really know like all the different, what all the different lines.
Minus 110 means.
They just know that they know somebody from back in the block. He's like he hit a parlay. It was 7 games. He up 7 bands, and now they in it. I mean, that's why they're legalizing it. It's like more of a lottery thing, but we're trying to turn that consumer into a more savvy.
More nuanced.
Yeah, more savvy. We're trying to basically like the best metaphor I can say is like turn the Wall Street best people into some people with like maybe read a chart. Like,
all right, so you made I think an interesting point about like the idea of getting into this. So I think like you said, gambling isn't new. A bookie, I think for a lot of people is like go call a bookie. That idea. How do you find yourself like competing against that? Like I don't know how many people are coming to you like who have had bookies in the past, but like I wonder like for gamblers or people who maybe are into this, how do you kind of deal with those people in that market or like people who are like watching Uncut Gems and like, hey guys, how do I do this?
Right. Well, that's actually interesting. I had a client who's very like he doesn't want to like be on the map. Like we have a chat. Exclusive Ante Up exclusive picks where we give just picks out our best bets for the day. Shout out to our friend in Rome because he goes crazy in there. But the thing with that is the actual exclusive chat, like he doesn't want to be in there, right? Because he wants to stay off the grid. So like he was actually thinking about like going to a bookie, like he knows someone who knows a bookie that he can put in bets. You can't buy like a half a point though, things like that. There's no leeway with the bookies. And also like, I guess guys can break your thumb, you know what I mean? If shit goes left.
I'm just curious because like when people think of gambling, that's what they think of.
Right.
That dark alley, I give you my money, you got a sheet and you're reading it off and then if I win, if you don't hit, I'm chasing you around town.
Yeah.
How do you get people to realize like, no, I'm gonna try to teach you a kind of a like you said, reading a chart, some sort of like nuanced way to understand this is more of a scientific thing than a probability.
I think the best way is like consolation calls, just like really, sit down and talk to people. Like I've had people like, I got some calls set up for next week, just kind of just teaching like the basics of sports gambling and, not to be like, there are a lot of people who are just literally afraid to bet online because they don't think they'll get paid. They just don't think they'll get paid. And I'm like, yo, like I've betted all the books. Like I'm the one guy, like they're like our friend in Rome, he likes one particular book. He bets there. Like that's where me. Like I have like 7. Like I'll just go. Whoever has the best line, that's the one I want to bet. But I just think that people are like just afraid, and they just are very like afraid to put their toe in the water. And like I'll help them with that, give them direction, and just give them my history as well. Like I've been paid out. I've lost money as well. Like that's transparency. But this is a way to make money. Like it's a legit way to make money. But like he said, people like kind of get into that jackpot thing. Like you want to win 7 teams to win however many thousands of dollars. And while that's love, and we have hit some of those, it's rare that those come. So we just try to give them a more educated way of gambling.
Yes, sir. Nah, P definitely is a game with thousand, and that's why I was gonna get at that. Like P is definitely the PEO, CEO, COO. You know, the passionate one of you know the Ante Up group. And he definitely like has that kind of insight. Like me personally, the part of Ante Up that I'm with, we're not even messing with people who are gonna break it down because honestly, that's not even like who we're trying to get at. Like I feel like we can help a person who is even dealing with, you know what I mean? Like if they want to go to like a, you know what I mean? Not I guess per se a legal booking, right? Because they sometimes like they might not give you a point, but they might give you better odds.
Yeah.
So like I feel them, like you know what I mean? Like, and we can probably consult them, and you know what I mean, in situations like that. But yeah, really like I don't see like us clashing with those guys at all. So if you're watching, we need a arm.
We need a thumb.
Yeah, it's a space for everyone in here. That's more we go. It's just room for everybody to eat.
And the big thing, we don't take bets. Like I don't
Yes.
take bets. Like you can't like want to bet with me. Like I don't.
That's what I mean. Like we're not booking at the end of the day. So it's
Right.
like
Yeah, because that's what I'm
they
saying.
need to beef with the unnamed casino, not us.
But that's why I think that's why I asked, because I'm just curious as to like, because we've talked about this about giving information and about the value in information, like what that what that presents. So I just wonder, like, in that space where bookies kind of prey on people not having information,
Right.
where do you like? Are you guys seen as like the new kids on the block that are fucking shit up? Are you guys seen as like a way for like a Robin Hood, where like you're gonna allow for everyone to who's never done this kind of become involved in it? Just like just where it falls.
I mean, honestly, if you think about it like that, like it's like at the end of the day, you are betting, like you are gambling. So I think that they would look at it as like, I want you to have as much information as you think, because like you're not gonna ever have more information than us, and we set the line. We set the line, and this is the line. You know what I'm saying? So,
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. Do you think like, cause not the, I don't think the casinos, the bookies. Do you think that they see someone like you and like Charles?
this is the simplest answer, Charles. Not now, but until we start cranking
Okay,
it.
I like
We're
it.
not thinking about it now.
Okay.
Because it's like, and that's how we, plan to, create value, separate ourselves from anybody who might be in this space. The proof is in the pudding, tracking these best bets actually, showing that we are a winning team, which we are.
Yeah, and at the end of the day, it's the industry. Like I feel like if a bookie, saw that, some of our clients were, making more winning plays, they would probably want to bring us in some capacity to either sharpen their lines, sharpen their odds, something like that. Like I think that we would probably be able to help them with anything.
So when you get a new client and you try to break down the science to them, do you ask them about their favorite sport or like?
Hell no. So I actually don't know about their favorite sport, their favorite team.
Hell no.
But yeah, cause I just try to like get emotions kind of out of it. I'm a Carolina Panthers fan, but like I never bet on them, and they're I just don't try to get involved in that. Really, I just really try to get them to understand that there's a process to it. It's not easy. So that's why like when people want to put in those 17 parlays to win thousands of dollars, you lose one, you lose the whole bet. So those are tough to hit. So I just try to like just continue, just educate people really. But yeah, no feelings involved. Please don't bring your favorite team. No what is it?
Perfect.
Apparel, anything like that. No, we don't do that.
No superstitions. None of that.
Oh my God.
Hey man,
It's like a key.
As your partner has on the laws.
a man has a law. A man has a code. Some teams you just not gonna bet. I can say you don't have to bet with them, but some teams I'm just not gonna bet against. And I'm gonna keep it like that. That's just it is what it is, baby. But no, definitely you should always want to take away all.
Yeah, I just think you can get biased.
Take away all your biases.
What's the most frequent question you get from people who want to like know about what you guys do? Like as far as like a line, whatever.
It's gotta be parlays, right?
That is the funniest part though. Like the most frequent question, even from people who have maybe placed bets before, is like they don't even understand just mathematically how the odds work. Like they don't know how to tell if they're getting a good, a good price, or like they might like the line and like the actual odds on it, like the minus number or whatever. they don't even like understand. Like, it doesn't trigger them like how much that can vary in difference. You know what I mean?
So explain that to someone. Like a basic, let's not use anything crazy, but like if you're someone like the basketball game, Wizards versus Celtics, it's +3 and it says -120 Celtics. Like what does that mean?
That means you got to put up $120 to win 100. And you know what I mean. So to some people it's whatever, but if you're betting every day, it's usually -110. That's like the standard.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, if you bet on the
give me the standard. Like,
it's usually
give me the
minus. You
standard
want to
spread.
get, I guess, you know, around minus. That's like if a book doesn't change it like by like a point or two, like that's where they stick it at. And then once you go over -120, I mean -110, you're paying more in theory. Like you're paying more for like to bet on that team. So over the long run, you're actually like losing money if you keep taking those kind of bets. That's like kind of what, you know, the kind of things that we were explaining to them in the consultant session. You know, we giving you like a little bit of pay information, but you know, we love our people here. We love our people here. And this is what we here for, baby. But yeah, those are like the little kind of things that we would try to like tell our customers, like definitely look for. You don't want to be a square just playing any, you know, I've been riding this line. And that's why it's good to, you know, look at lines. I don't know how much we should give them right now. You know what I mean?
You're good.
He said he's gonna stop you if you go too far.
No, but yeah, like I mean, it definitely matters. Like the odds, looking at odds, little stuff like that is like that. Honestly, is the most common questions I get. Like just surprised the basic stuff about betting. Just like, well, why are you know what I mean? Why are you even putting money down if you don't know this yet? Definitely trying to stop people from that.
I respect it.
Yeah, for me, I would think it's the parlays, like just asking, like, you know, how often do we hit them, or like how, like, you know, how can they, you know, put them together, or, you know, but I always, you know, tell people, you know, always just give them a fair warning, like, you know, these are, you know, they're not easy to hit. Some people though, like, there are different methods of gambling. So I've read an entire book on this where there's just like, so let's say for me, like, I love to bet straight, like that's my best method, and I love betting college basketball and the NFL specifically. Those are my two best sports. But for some people, long term, they might be better at placing a 2 to 3 leg parlay, which your odds are better to hit because you only need 2 to 3 things to happen rather than 7 or 8. So, and you know, they're not going to win all of those, but long term, they're winning. So, like we said, put up the 110. They're winning more than they're putting up long term. If they you know hit on those parlays, let's say about
those kind of
55%.
people are conscious over like what the odds are. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
When they're putting those 2-3 team parlays in, you know what I mean? They're not putting it on. There's not 3 -300s. You know what I mean? Like it's definitely not nothing going like that. They're mixing in there. You know what I mean? Lots best bet I know is gonna happen with like a, you know what I mean, another fight, and hopefully those people are also like playing those teams straight as well, not just all parlays.
Right.
What is you think the thing that new bettors need to get like most acquainted with? Is it the terminology? Is it the actual like attitude towards gambling, like not being scared, like you said, parlays versus straight bet? Like, what do you think is the most important thing if I just have no idea of betting? I'm like, yo, I want to start.
I think, and this is something super advanced. Like we're really just taking you straight, you know, from the you know what are babies? But the babies born table,
Yeah.
and we're taking you right into, you know, the grown men's room, because it's a situation where you don't, like, let's say the Lakers, healthy Lakers, right, champion Lakers are, you know, going against, you know, the Chicago Bulls, and the champion Lakers, healthy Lakers are like, you know, 2.5 point favorites at the, you know, that's a little cheap. Like, it's like, why, you know what I mean? Like, things like that. But there are a lot of people that are just, oh, I gotta take the Lakers tonight. The Lakers are only, you know, they're gonna win. But, you know, it's things like that where I just, you know, want people to like understand and really like try to understand why the line is the line, because, you know, Vegas aren't fools. These lines are all sharp. Like most of the time they're sharp. So, yeah, that's big. That's big.
Yeah, you know, I was looking at it. You saw me peeping it.
I think that's an interesting point you just made. I think gambling is interesting because it's kind of seen as a degenerate thing. So I wonder, like, how do you get people?
Yeah, that was gonna be my answer to the question.
Yeah, okay.
I was gonna be like, the best thing is not even a lesson that I can teach them. Hopefully, when I see somebody be like, oh, I'm about to start getting into it, and it's not just like a one-time thing. I hope they lose at first. Like, I don't want you to just win, because then you get a false sense of like of what's going on. That like encourages you to like just continue to make like mistakes, make these crazy parlays, double down. Like, well, I'm gonna let it ride. Stuff like that. Like that I feel like honestly is like where people will mess up. You know, like, you gotta learn. They're like, okay. Yeah, man, I messed up, and it's not even that deep. It's just like you just get bad habits. You think that you can, you honestly make bad bets and think that like that is the way to bet because like, what you talking about? I hit for $7.
Could you ever consider like something just a bad bet, or do you have to wait till everything plays out and look back on it?
And that is why it's gambling at the end of the day. Because honestly, the only good bad bet is a good bet if you won, it's a bad bet if you lost.
No, that's what I'm saying. Because when you followed it up with, but I hit for 7,000, I'm
it's like that's
so
a good bet.
you know what I'm saying?
Like you did what?
And that's exactly
you came up like that. Okay.
And that's, I mean, you can never get like say a winner was wrong because he obviously was not.
Yeah, you could be like on the wrong side, like kind of like once a game starts, you start to feel like, oh, why, I probably am on the wrong side here.
There's
Win
tons of
or
bad
loss.
beats.
Yeah.
You can definitely, if you were sweating that whole time, like, come on, bro, that wasn't a good bet.
Right,
You just happened to win. Like,
exactly.
You sweated that whole game. Wouldn't you have rather have like been able to like comfortably turn the TV off and go to another, or something like that. Like, you know what I mean? Like, oh yeah, that's money in the bank. So yeah, like if you literally sweated out the whole thing, like it's a good bet you won, but it's like I don't know how sharp you were in that situation. You just happen to, luckily win, covered by them. Like obviously that's just a testament to how sharp Vegas is because you were this close. You know what I'm saying?
When you say Vegas, you've been mentioning Vegas and how sharp they are. How do you go against? Not go against, but how do you go about finding research to be like, all right, we feel like we have enough to feel comfortable saying
on the house.
Not even advances, but saying we're comfortable with what we have, with knowing the knowledge we have to say, all right, we're gonna take this.
I feel like that's where we start to probably get into a little too deep. We do have a process though. We have a daily call, and we have a process of just going through the information, finding our pick, and then we're just like, oh, let's go.
I can definitely attest that there's a lot of factors that go into like how we determine like if we like a certain side or not. Like sometimes there's system plays where you kind of like you're looking at certain trends, certain factors, and you're like, I know that, you know what I mean. Hopefully you try not to tie it to like a certain squad unless they're just doing something particularly where like I remember one year like the Warriors will always be terrible. The year that they were really good, like they were trash in the first half, third quarter they would always blow them out. That was like a trend that you were following. It was tied to that team, but like you hopefully like try to find them like that's not really team specific. But there's a lot of other options like using system plays, like other stuff like that. But yeah, that goes more in the the cha-ching version of Ante Up. But yeah, like just running the numbers usually like actually paying attention is just actually having knowledge. Like you can't just blindly bet. Like that's like the worst thing you could be doing is just blindly betting.
Feel that. Real quick, before you said the cha-ching, how do people, if they want to get in the cha-ching part of the portion, find your, like do you have multiple avenues or not?
Sure thing. So you can reach out to at Ante Up Consulting on Instagram, at Ante Up Consult on Twitter, and reach out there to kind of just tell us you want some consultation. See if the program is for you. Like I have some clients. Generally, we're still like growing. Like this was started fall of 2019. So and then COVID hit, so that was a very big deal. So you know what I mean? Like there's still but you can get in touch with us there.
From the tech side, you can also purchase single game package tickets on the website. App coming soon. Soon.
He's a father.
Right.
So all right, I appreciate that. We know where to find y'all. You said we got the internet. Go to the website. Plug one time.
AnteUpConsulting.com.
Get your game packages. We got a chat.
Ante Up exclusive picks. That's in our Twitter and Instagram bio.
And there was one more, right? Or those are only two?
You can just go to Ante Up Consult on Twitter, Ante Up Consulting on Instagram.
Alright, so you got social media, you got internet. Listen,
Just gave you everything.
and they got a free chat too, right?
Free chat, yeah. That's links in the bio.
Bro,
Get in the chat now while it's there.
wow, listen, man, listen.
While it's there. It's free.
There's
It's free, right?
So there's an interesting thing about sports that I think I want to touch on with the gambling. I work in sports in the means of storytelling, and I always find that it goes against gambling in a lot of ways. So like the idea of numbers, data, kind of goes against like, hey, this person's hot right now, or this person is bad, this person's in a funk. How do you combat that? So like someone who watches, I know multiple men who like watch ESPN all day, every day, and that's just where they're getting their sports knowledge from. How do you maybe get the guy who is listening to the Skip Baylesses, the Stephen A's, the Max Kellermans to realize that, hey, there's some science to this. Like what you're watching, it's entertainment, but hey, there's science here.
Well, yeah, that's definitely entertainment. I mean, those are like hot takes, and obviously there's a market for that. These guys are making millions of dollars and all that stuff. But that doesn't align with sports gambling. I always think with Salome, always it's tough to beat a team 3 times, but like when you look at the stats, it's not like people.
You know what I'm saying?
people win 3 times in a season. So we just. I mean, we'll just point out the numbers. Like in college basketball, 2 years previous to this year, I was 68% against the spread, which is incredible. Like I was on some crazy shit. This year I took a step back. I think COVID with the no fans really affected just handicapping and stuff like that. But I was 56% this year. But that's where professional gamblers win. If you're 55% or better as a professional gambler, like that's where you win money. So that's great as well. So I just think that if people understand that. We have history to show, and I have like Excel sheets to show, like, yo, this is what we did, this is when we did it, and by that you just gotta sort of believe.
Yeah, no, that's the idea being okay. I think you made me jump to another point. What are the numbers? So like you said, 55% or better. Is there a sweet spot for you where you're like, hey, I'm at 61%, we're good for this season. I can't get below this. Or is there a part where you're like, shit, motherfucker, I'm gonna keep pushing it until we get to 70. Like, are there numbers you're trying to hit?
You know what's interesting? I'm at 56%. I don't think I've given a pick out like maybe 5 minutes. And it's almost the end of the regular season, so that might be in my head. But like I said, I was traveling. So no, I mean I don't think like that. If anything, I remember earlier like I was like at that 57, 58% mark, and I was just like I'm trying to get back to my 68. So no, I don't really look at it like that. And if I have a down year, let's say this year I went 48%. Factor over 3 years 68, 48. I mean like long-term bettingly, I would never tell somebody I'm 68% against the spread. What if I do a real, they should ask me over how long of a period of time. Because at that point, I'm not taking a small sample size of a year or a month or, like anything like that. So, yeah, that's pretty much, what I was getting to with that.
Go ahead.
Yeah. So anything over 55, you get some money. He said he was 68. Like, come on, man, don't play with him.
He's not one of them.
Seriously.
Is there, because you're more on the tech side, I presume, or just like the not so.
He's just definitely the data, numbers.
Is there a sweet spot for you where you're like, all right, I've been hitting something? Because I think you would look at the numbers a little differently, I'm assuming. I don't know.
I mean, I feel like that more so goes into how we like pick a side of a game. I mean, like I say, like 55% you get money. So like that's everything. You betting money. That's everybody's goal is to like
get some money.
Be winning more than half of the bets. So no, not like you know what I mean. Like at the end of the day, it's the economy game. Like you're trying to win the money. I know that I feel like because of that, I am tend to more like. This has less to do with numbers than just my personality. I am more likely to talk myself into like, man, like my number's so good on this, I might as well string them together and like I'll put the fucking parlay in. I don't care. I don't care. But you know, me and P are definitely two different types of bettors. Like, and we know that, and you know, we don't like. I don't bet as much as him, or you know, in terms of like quantity or like you know how many either. Like he bets more money and more often than me, and so like he approaches it like that. You know what I mean? Like, whereas it might be like a loose play for me to pick a side, and like he has to bet more, so it's like you know I have enough information for me to pick this side, and like so like it'll be easier and harder for me to get above. You know,
No, for sure.
So it's not like it's not a big. I'm more of a casual gambler in the sense of like. The money and it's nice.
Keith is great. Well, I think like I sort of I guess like because I kind of see everybody's like strengths and weaknesses or whatever. So like I know like when Rome, if he you know sometimes like he'll like not have a side on the game, right? But he'll get so passionate about it, like while talking about it, and I kind of know that's when I like try to like go against him. But like with Keith, like he's good with like totals and trends. Like early in the season, like he'll just notice things like that. And to him, it's probably not that you know big of a deal, but I notice you know when he notices stuff like that. So yeah, we're all different you know types of gamblers or bettors rather. But you know there is method to madness.
How do you go about, I just wonder, betting sports that you might not frequently watch? So I feel like basketball, football,
Hockey.
you know. No, I'm saying basketball, football is kind of the ones that everyone watch, are always on
But
TV.
I was naming the opposite.
Oh yeah, I'm saying maybe even baseball to an extent. Baseball's always on TV.
Right.
Or sports like hockey, or maybe like a boxing
I was
match.
gonna say MLS, but yeah, you know.
Something like that. How do you stay away from them completely, or are you like, we have a method to the madness?
Me personally, I don't bet in the NHL. But our friend in Rome does, so you know, like
If you can't tell by now, Rome's an animal. Rome's an animal.
If it's money to be made, he's trying to say.
So yeah, Rome, he's definitely a different breed. But you know, for me though, if I don't watch it or I can't really watch or get into it, I watch a lot of sports. Like I can watch tennis, I can watch a baseball game, especially. And the thing is. If you have money invested in anything, you're sort of tuned in. Yeah, you're more entitled to it.
Well, maybe my thing is like, for hockey, like a line shift. If I watched a hockey game and I saw a line shift, I might know what it is, but I'd be like, huh? You know, like the nuance of the game would just run past me. In the way of like someone said cover 3 in football, I'd be like, okay, I have an understanding of what that means. You know, so like
The advice I would give somebody in that situation, as an Ante Up employee, would be do not bet on that game. Like, what are you doing? Like, what the fuck are you doing?
that's what I'm curious.
It's simple as that. Like, bro, you don't know. Like, bro, if you're gonna watch it, then watch it. Like, you know, that is. I feel like that is one of the key things we're trying to get people away from. Like, I mean, that's the marketing. Like, I think that was DraftKings. Like, yeah, I saw a commercial. It was like, you know how you make the game more fun? Put some skin in it. Like, no, that's literally what we're trying to get people not to do. Like,
That's what I'm saying.
Like, if you don't, like, it's like, trust me. If you put money on a hockey game, it's not gonna make a hockey more lit. You're just gonna be mad as shit if you lose. I don't even know what was going on. Literally, the line shifted. I don't know what the fuck.
That's what I'm saying.
They let him score.
Like I know a little bit about hockey, so like a power play.
Yeah,
so like if I was watching hockey, I didn't
I'm
hit
into that one.
And you
down
know,
to that.
you down to that. I see my team that I'm betting on lose. I get a goal score. I'll be like,
regular power.
I'll be like, what the fuck is this? Or like you two man down on the power play.
Sure.
You like what? Like so I'm just curious. Like how do y'all talk to people? Because I know I'd be pissed if I hit niggas like, hey bro, and they say, that's the best man.
I would do better than that. Like, you bet on the hockey game. You don't watch hockey. You don't know what a line shift is. Like, you calling me like I do. Like, I haven't said anything motherfucking hockey. Like, literally.
If you don't know the sport, like probably you don't want to, because if you don't know the rules of the sport, that's not educated gambling. You're just literally just trying to win.
Okay, what about something more obscure like women's college basketball?
I can't find lines on that. I'm a dirty motherfucker.
Not online, but in Vegas. When we were in Vegas, they definitely had that. They definitely had
WNBA.
Okay, I'm sorry. Oh, that's women's college basketball. I'm sorry. So WNBA. So like for something like that, basketball. People watch basketball.
Yeah.
People think they're knowledgeable, but like I think it's different. Like women's basketball is like the NBA. It's a very unique league. There's players. There's trends. So like if a nigga wanted to bet on that, how do you be like, come on, buddy, like?
Well, I mean, you can know the game, you can know the sport, you can know the players, and
It's just on you to find the research, right?
For sure. I mean, it's on.
We don't have an in-house WNBA person, so I don't know if we would be able to. I don't know.
Ladies,
So if you,
ladies,
you know
if you,
what I'm saying?
and not even ladies, maybe some guys are into it. If you're into WNBA,
I fuck with the WNBA.
Yeah, I was gonna say
Minnesota Lynx might be tough this year. That's all I'm saying. And Connecticut Sun.
all I know is that Parker on Chicago Sky 12.
Yeah.
Parker on the Chicago Sky, so I think they're gonna be tough.
No, the Chicago Sky got a few people. Yeah, they got a few after
But
this.
you know my boo coming back to the Aces, so it's lit.
Oh yeah, shout out to Liz.
Love you, Liz.
No, we do love it. I definitely love Liz.
Everybody love Liz. Who doesn't love Liz Cambridge?
She's
Like,
a bully on the block.
I don't want to be that guy. I don't want to be that guy.
I love this. All right, a few more questions I just had about just like the Ante Up.
Are we gonna get into March Madness?
I was about to say that was good. You know what? You take it away, could you?
Oh, I would, because it's just like this is like the Super Bowl time of year for motherfucking P. Niggas like P. You know what I'm saying? College basketball fanatics. Because it's just like, and I just want to know personally, who are some of your favorites and some of your sleepers going into this tournament?
Favorites. You want to start with the favorites?
Go blue.
I mean,
Fuck out of here.
all year I have been, and I never say this any year, but this year specifically, I'm rocking with Gonzaga. It's like, what? Gonzaga got guards? I'm all in. I've never seen it. I want to see it. Yeah, I want to see it. I'm like, wow, you convinced me.
Yeah, sure.
Because like, you need guard play. That's how you win the tournaments. You can be good all year, you know what I mean? But you need guards.
Because Charles makes that point.
Every year.
You need. I mean, it's true because it's true. Like, it's one of those things that is just like Stephen A. probably said, I'm like, it's true. Like, you know what I mean?
My man, you've been telling me that since I've been 7 years old.
Like,
Guard play wins in March.
I mean, it's facts though. I mean, this year,
God
goddamn it, they got guards. It's like,
Everybody got
everybody.
It's like it's a weird thing where I'm kind of rooting for them. But obviously, I would think like them and Baylor are like the heavy favorites. Michigan creeping up there. It's just been a
What
down
about
year.
Illinois?
So my take on Illinois is top like as far as like a duo, Kofi and Io, like they're the best. They're Kobe Shaq out there.
No, for sure.
But the thing is, and when I say Shaq or Kobe is, have you seen? That's a big.
I watch way more of like in passing, just college basketball period. Cause
Yeah.
they don't have it for me. And every time I see them, they seem like the team that I'm like,
Only
oh
watch-
wow,
I watch
like.
like 3 or 4
Guys,
games.
Nah, to be honest, for all the college basketball I watched this
Your
year,
dad might like him, right?
yeah, my dad, I was actually watching them, and he was like, they're good again. I was like, yeah, I guess. I don't know.
Good again.
He was like, they were good in the 70s. I was like, huh?
I remember
I
they
was
put
good
that shit on
again
Instagram.
after
It
that,
was like
too.
I was not alive.
I was like, I guess they were good in the 70s. But I mean, for me, I think I kind of lean with O'Malley Michigan. Like, I don't know why, but like when I watch them, they seem to be like
I seen somewhere.
they have the in and out thing, and they have guards, and they have that one Wagner's brother who seems to be able to stretch. And I think like for me, when I look at college basketball, it seems like you need at least one guy who can stretch.
For sure.
Because if you're gonna play like 4 guards, the Villanova 4 guards and one big man there, your big man probably needs it. So like,
Yeah.
that's my I don't watch no college basketball analysis.
To finish off, I have 3 teams that I think will possibly win it. Gonzaga, for all the reasons we touched on, they always have just a really good players and program every year, but they never have like a top 5 recruit. Jalen Suggs kind of takes them over the top for sure. And when it comes down to playing basketball, the best player on the court. You know what I mean? So Baylor as well. I just think like defensively, it's like they're fucking studs. Like they you know what I mean? They kind of like.
What you got on Baylor?
Take people away.
I was just gonna say that's gonna be like probably one of the lost storylines. It's just like, cause like if they win this year, cause like they were heavy favorites last year too. And it's like, did they lose last? Did
They lose no.
They didn't lose no games, and it was just like, damn, like. So you can't say they wasn't going.
I'm not gonna lie, Baylor's
like,
lost to Kansas. I don't know if that. I think
but then
the
they
coach,
followed up with a really good win. Though.
yeah. But the coaches was saying COVID. I was just like,
Oh yeah, so and that's another thing about Baylor I like. So they've had like a couple like COVID breaks and pauses. Yeah, so but I think stuff like that makes you like better, like long term. You know what I mean? Like if there is like maybe a day or so like where you have to be pause and then play the next day or something like that. I think that's
you're used to that.
Yeah, but with Illinois, I just think that like I said, they have the top 2 duo. But their coaching usually, like in-game coaching, usually gets out-coached. Brad Underwood.
That's a fact.
So in-game coaching, his
Usually in the
adjustments,
second half too.
yeah, aren't that great. And then the biggest thing is tournament time. It comes down to like you said, guard play and experience. These guys have never played in the tournament. It was canceled last year. That's why they came back. So, you know what I mean? It's going to come down to like pressure, stuff like that. And yeah, he's a junior. No, he's a junior. I don't know if he's a junior or so. I think he's a sophomore.
Maybe a sophomore, because he didn't play last year. Last year not happening is really throwing
exactly.
Personally.
So those two are inexperienced, and Kobe he fouls a lot. So you know what I mean? I think if he gets in foul trouble and it just comes down to everything on Iowa, like, that's tough to win. So I can't take them to win. But Michigan though, I do think they have the talent. The coaching, Juwan Howard's a nice in-game adjustment.
Been a really good coach this year.
Yeah, so I think they have the talent. And
I can't think of the guy who was trying to go at Juwan Howard.
Was it Cowherd? You said he was a bad. Yeah, it was someone who was.
I can't believe they gave him this job.
Oh no, it was Mike Francesca.
Yeah, it was him.
Yeah,
I think I texted you about that. I was like, "What's up with your man, Mike?" Like, he was like, "My man."
First time walked out.
I always a junior.
Okay. So for me, it's I got those three teams. But I don't think Illinois is going. I don't see it this year.
I'm not listening.
Yeah.
Pops, I'm sorry.
It's a great question,
No,
and
sure.
honestly, like as far as like your bracket, filling out the bracket, I think like that's one of the teams that people are gonna have in the Final Four, right? They're gonna be a number one seed.
I think because the name people,
Yeah.
They
But
beat a couple top 10 teams.
I would say if you're looking
back to back.
Yeah, if you're looking for like a sleeper.
I'm about to say, give me some sleepers.
So if you're looking for like a sleeper, like obviously I don't think they'll lose in the first round, right? But if you're looking in the Sweet 16 or something like that, Illinois is gonna be tough for them. They haven't been in a position like this. So, but as far as a sleeper team, how about Southern? Is it Southern Illinois? I don't think it's Southern Illinois. Loyola, Illinois. So they, I think they're ranked right now. I think they're 21st.
Was that the one where like a few years ago they had the grandma?
Yeah.
Okay.
So, Jean, Sister Jean.
Shout out to her.
But yeah, so they're as far as like defense, they smother. They're I think second in the nation as far as out of 350 plus teams. You know, they're second in the nation on their defense. Their totals are always super fucking low, like 124, shit like that. Like they really smother their back, whoever they're playing. So Southern Illinois, I think they're a nice little sleeper team. Well, they're ranked at this point, so they're a nice sleeper.
Southern Illinois, you got any sleepers for us?
Well, not Southern. I'm sorry, Loyola, Illinois.
Loyola, Illinois.
I honestly have no sleeper. I wonder, like, this is the bias. Like, I'm not. Please. This is not advice, financial advice, blah, blah, blah. I mean, I always, like, think of, like, just because I, like, keep it, I'm going to go Houston just because that's the only, the no fans is killing me this year. So I've been keeping up with, the boys.
You mentioned that.
So,
how do you think?
So, like, they're the best in our little A-10 shit, so I'm going to go Houston. Like.
But how do you think that plays a part? Because I think we always talk about home court.
I was going to say that, like, I think the no fans is going to heavily skew like having a good coach, like coaching, because it's more like it's obviously not, but like, I think it's akin to like if you had to like preseason you scrimmage and y'all rival. It's like, bro, like then you remember, like if you playing like it's like that's a regular game. What are you talking about? Like there's nobody here, but that's a regular game. Like it's like I feel like all the tournament games are gonna be like that. And in those situations, I feel like the better coach team, the more prepared team always wins. There's nothing in here but these two teams playing the sport.
I do want to point out though that there will be fans
at the tournament.
Up to 25% capacity in Indiana, so everything's held in Indiana. So.
It's a bubble, miniature bubble.
Yeah, no, I'm hip to that. I'm trying to think of like, that is enough. Yeah, that's fine.
If they got student section types, then
to make a difference. It would be funny if they did that and then they convinced the fans. This is like.
This is a random, just a gambling question. What is the bet you can think of that you are really upset you made, and one that you are really happy you made?
Okay.
Motherfucker.
Yes. I want to go first. You go first.
No, okay. The one that I'm upset I made. I remember. Who the fuck was they playing? It was my B-Day weekend.
Okay.
We're in Vegas.
Okay.
I'm talking about. I'm like, bro, this is my life. I'm not even gonna fuck around with them. It's too much going on. This is my game. I'm going in. The Rams was only like. This is the year the Rams was going in. They're going in. They went like 12 and whatever they went.
Yeah, early went the fuck off.
So, whoever they played that week, they was slums. Yes, that's exactly the game. That's exactly the game. The Rams were playing the Duck Dodgers. What's his name?
Oh, Mason Rudolph.
No, it was after Mason.
Oh,
Duck
Hodges.
It was Duck Hodges. He covered the fucking spread against the Rams, and that shit blew me on my birthday. That is the one. That is the one, man. I went
over like 3 of them back.
I went all in on that game, and I'm looking at it like, okay, you're gonna fumble the very first drive. Okay, you're gonna okay, and then I'm just watching it, and I'm like, nah, y'all ain't let Duck go. So that shit blew me. And my one I always think about that I like is like I really did put something down on Spencer Dinwiddie to win the skills competition. That shit was bad.
That's hard. That's hard. When loyalty is right. When being loyal goes right.
All right.
Give me 2.
Yeah, for me, I think the one that just, I guess hurts. Last year, I was in the gym, I remember, it was like February. I bet Murray State, -2.5. College basketball.
Listen, hold on, before you finish. You need to tie with these guys.
He's sick.
Murray State is what he hurt. It is hurting him the most. Please.
I was sure about it, man.
Please. Make sure you guys get in the chat. That's all I'm saying.
Please.
Who they play?
I forgot who they fucking played. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter who the opponent was because they were up like 20-25 in the first half. Oh my God, come on. I'm just gonna keep working out. It's nothing. I got my workout in, ended the workout, turned on my phone. These motherfuckers lose outright. Outright. They only needed to win about 2.5, 3 points for me to win money. So that one hurt. Did definitely. But
wait, Steve, before you get her, I'm thinking about one just came to mind. It doesn't be the Duck Dodgers, but I'm thinking about the Merch State. We both were in on this one. Remember when bruh purposely missed the free throws for UMD?
Oh my God.
So they
I was about to ask you about bad beats that.
Bruh, it was Andy Cowan. He was going off. Shout out to him. He's one niggas London that year, cause they were sleeping on him. But I don't know who they were playing. I don't know if they was playing Minnesota, Indiana. They were playing somebody, and they were up. Like it was like Maryland -1.5 or something. They were up 1 point. Bruh's at the free throw line. He makes like this tie. It's like some tie ball game shit. He made the first one to put him up 1, and I'm like, easy peasy. My nigga got this. It's like 0.8 seconds. It's some stupid shit. It's like, bro, they won. Like after you won the first one, he missed that bitch on purpose. I was so mad, bro. I was so.
Cause they had no timeouts. Like they were out there.
Yeah, but at it.
The one that I love, well, I gotta give you, it's a 2-part here.
Okay.
One of my, first time I put down my biggest bet, it was like 550 to win 500. And, most people don't want to do that. They'd rather parlay to try to win 500. So that was the first time I did that. So that was like a really proud moment. Won that bet. That was the Dodgers. Yeah, the Dodgers. Shout out to Yasiel Puig, motherfucker. They got me that win. And I think recently a really proud moment. Prop God from Paris. He gave out, this is last week of the season, right? Derrick Henry's over-under was like maybe 119.5, something like that. Alfredo Paris gave it out at over 199.5 because he needed 200 plus to get up 2,000. So, and he did that. So, and we got that at like plus 400 or 500, and so we came up, $100 won you about 500-600. Yeah, so it was a really good day. So. Yeah.
Listen, these are the guys to know, buddy.
This nigga P is an animal, first of all. He said our friend in Paris, man.
Oh yeah, okay, that's
our friend in Paris.
Our friend in Paris, our friend at Rome, Papa Keys.
Yep, Papa Keys. Meticulous Mark P. We got the beast from the Middle East.
I saw the beast from the Middle East. I like his. I saw you got a $5 parlay, but
we don't go on the beast on that.
Middle East for nothing. I see. Hey, listen. I see you.
Show me some respect, dog.
Casual. Are you casual fan, Jay?
No. I wasn't done yet.
Sound like it. Yeah, he's full.
And from the, like the podcast perspective, we got Soundman. This is the Line podcast.
Soundman Lock.
Soundman Special.
Yeah, Soundman Special.
All underdogs.
All underdogs.
What was your record this year?
Nah. Listen, for
Hey, talk
underdog.
real quick. Are you mic'd up?
Yeah, I'm
All
always
right,
mic'd
cool.
For underdog, you know what I'm saying? You want some money with me this year, man.
No way you was sneaky mic'd up this whole time, bro.
That's
ridiculous.
What was it like, P? That was like four of like 6 or 7 or some shit like that.
Yeah, his record was like so it was under 500. It was like right around that 5. So maybe like one game under 500, but it's all underdog. So
Yeah,
like,
all underdog.
So you won money, like betting. So he did today.
That's all I think.
He's getting better. He's getting much sharper. Like that was the thing. Like he's the fans' fan. He came in like very like didn't really know much about sports gambling, but knows a ton about sports. Nothing really about sports.
Yes, he's a great. I think you know what this is. Let's talk about the podcast real quick and then we'll finish it out.
Yeah.
The podcast, like, how does that work? Just with like the making of bets and making of content, because we make content on a podcast and we don't have to worry about like giving out bets or anything. You know, giving information. I could you can say bitch ass nigga for 40 minutes and
You bitch ass nigga.
it can work. How does that work for you?
That's hilarious. I think well, people want to gamble. People want to sports gamble specifically. So you know we're starting to just build our audience. You know around that fact that people want to bet on sports. So yeah, that and I'm sorry. What's the second part of the question?
A lot of now, but
My bad, but yeah, I mean, I just think that that's a big deal though in itself. So
The answer to your question is pre-prod. This is pre-prod P, cheat sheet P. He get us sharp, he get us ready for every podcast. Like that's how we, you know what I mean. All the quick stats and stuff, like all of like the due diligence really we do on games. Obviously, when we're recording the podcast, like there's line movement that can happen. And, we talk about that during the pod. Like if we think a line is gonna move, we're usually pretty right about that. Those are the ones you really want to hop on. So if you are a listener, like. Maybe we get a little sound when that happens, but yeah, like P, it's a testament to P, and just the fact that the people that we do work with, they're on it. He gives us the cheat sheet, but usually people are already, you know what I mean. They have they lean in one way or another on most of the lines when we do.
Yeah, my actual process for it, NFL is like really, we really go in, but
I get the weekly, spread.
Right, yeah, so that's a big deal for the podcast.
How do people get in contact? I know we kind of in the middle, we told them, but like just for you, like how if you wanted to be like that,
Contact you directly, not the businesses.
I don't know if you know.
Yeah, I was gonna say do not. Ante Up Consult.
Yeah, I mean you can reach me on Twitter at _heavyp. That username isn't changing ever. So. Otherwise, you can email me at anteupconsulting@gmail.com and Pringle at anteupconsulting.com as well. So all of that good stuff.
Yeah, but for metrics wise, it's better for us if you reach out through the through the correct
Through the
channels.
They told you earlier in the
help
episode.
us, help you, help us.
Website, social media, and you'll find everything else. Lastly, what are the things that you want people to know about Ante Up from your perspective? If no one had ever heard about Ante Up any day of the week, any time in the world, and walked up, and I was like, yo, Ante Up.
What is that?
How would you explain it? What would you want them to know about it?
First thing I would say is that we're ahead of the market. The sports gambling market, people are just learning about, betting and putting down parlays and stuff like that. And we've been doing it for, like I said, I've been doing it for 10 years. So that's the first thing that I'll let them know. Then I'll introduce them to the podcast. I'll, tell them about the listeners. We've had like really nice growth. Like I grew from year 1 to year 2. We quadrupled in listeners. And we had about 12 listeners in our first year. So it's nothing too crazy, but like people are actually listening now. Our last pod that we did, which was Super Bowl, we got that was our most listeners ever. Like it was like over like maybe almost 300 people. I think it was so. And that was just I think that was so successful because a lot of just the the casuals can come in and just talk about what Jasmine Sullivan's gonna wear for the anthem and all that stuff like that. So
Come and get a rig on
yeah, a little shit like that. So
Coin toss.
What color was the Gatorade?
Blue.
Blue.
Random as shit.
I always say it's gonna be orange. I stamp it.
Anything you want to finish up with, Keith, before we send you on home?
definitely hit up Ante Up Consult on all the things that we already said. But nothing in particular, Charles.
Yeah, but, let's finish off, right?
Yeah.
All right. So before we sign off, I do want to say, hey, reach out to us at Ante Up Consulting. I'm a very approachable person. Like people that don't even know me, like I would just have a consultation call with them, tell them what we're doing, stuff like that. So yeah, please reach out. We'll make it happen. We win money betting sports. That's what we do. And I just want to also just give you guys your flowers. Y'all been putting people on this platform for some time now. This is long overdue. We were supposed to do this last year, but fucking COVID. And I just want to say we appreciate y'all. Y'all are staple in the community, and y'all are staple on the
Yes, B. So I was like, damn, I ain't been in a pod in a minute. All my boys,
We got the cameras and
We
shit.
try to help niggas make money too, we try to do everything for everybody, man. Appreciate y'all, and I really love what y'all doing. Like, it's something that I think a lot of people just are doing, and they should be educated.
real app coming soon when that shit drop.
We're gonna get bigger. We're gonna get bigger.
No, I'm proud of y'all good, man. 'Cause
Every
this
day.
went-
Sound like those.
This went from a motherfucking group chat conversation, no bullshit, to a real life fruition. So it's like, I'm gonna get y'all flowers.
Exactly.
Thank you.
Make some noise for Ante Up Consult.
Everybody paid, looking for advertisers, looking for any,
y'all heard it.
program sponsorships.
Hey,
Ante Up.
Hey,
Those are the
yeah.
guys.
DraftKings, you know what I'm saying? All y'all, come fuck with the guys.
One more time, Ante Up Consult. Make some fucking noise.
Yeah.